from the Instagram account of San Francisco Mayor London Breed, who I absolutely cannot stand. She is a completely corrupt floozy at its very best, and obviously she paid nearly $23,000 in ethics violations fines, which is a drop in the bucket for the nation's highest paid mayor, and of course the tip of the iceberg. What else is she guilty of if that's what she is willing to admit she did? But she says sideshows are illegal and dangerous. They have no place in San Francisco. So now, suddenly, she's pretending that she's going to enforce the law. But my name's Eric. This channel is called Report and Opine. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm absolutely begging you.
I'm begging you, please. Come on, please.
It would help me a lot and cost you nothing. But if you wanted to help me even more and spend a tiny bit of money, you would buy my book, New York City 2020, Gotham Unglued, on Amazon.com. That link will be in the description. It goes on. We're cracking down and coordinating with regional law enforcement to prevent and disrupt sideshows. So now you're cooperating with the law that, of course, for at least the last 4 years, you totally hated, including the use of technology. This work by SFPD, the Sheriff's Department, CHP, and other law enforcement agencies is critical, as these sideshows are a regional issue. And I can only imagine the reason they are all pretending. Scumbag Greaseball, Bang Your Wife, Governor Gavin Newsom, Mayor Shang Tao out in Oakland, they're all pretending now that they're going to clean up because I guess they think it's going to help Kamala Harris in the long run.
Sideshows are dangerous, they are disruptive, and they are illegal. They are...
Yeah, so as per usual, they want to create a new law to, I guess, enforce the laws that we had, but they didn't enforce. Like, these things are already illegal. So why are you creating a new law to... It doesn't make any sense. It's the same thing with this border issue. Oh, well, we proposed the strongest border bill ever. Well, we didn't need a bill because there's already laws. But here, this is par for the course as far as the Democratic Party is concerned.
Are harmful for our neighborhoods, and to be very, very clear, they will...
I promise I'm not going to stop this every 2 seconds. It's a really short clip, but that's what they always say, right? She's getting her talking points from Kamala, who's getting the talking points from up on high. Let me be clear.
Well, let's first be clear.
Let me be clear. That obviously means word salad is coming your way.
Will not be tolerated. I'm introducing legislation here in San Francisco to do 4 things. To make it illegal to participate in promoting sideshows.
Okay, fine. Maybe that little caveat, it's illegal to participate in a sideshow, but everything they do in a sideshow is totally illegal, right? Spinning donuts in the middle of an intersection, ruining cars, blocking off the Bay Bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge, streets all over the place. That's already highly illegal. And when some people in Oakland tried to stop it, they, of course, were turned into the criminals.
So if you are an organizer, we are coming for you too. We will make it illegal to participate in assembling for a sideshow. So if you are one of those vehicles that are trying to obstruct other vehicles from coming through, and you're just blocking it with your car.
That was already illegal.
Or you're there in any way, this means cars that obstruct the streets to set up for sideshows will also now face criminal penalties. And we will make it illegal to impede.
And how are you going to enforce this? You hate the cops. I mean, 911 doesn't work in San Francisco or Oakland. Who you're just going to... This is what they do also, is they rule by press conference. And I guess hope that somebody's going to listen to it.
Law enforcement from doing their jobs to disrupt sideshows. So if you are using those lasers to try and blind our officers, if you are trying to...
Already illegal.
Do anything to stop a vehicle, stand in front of a vehicle, all of those things will count as impeding law enforcement.
Already illegal, right? I mean, this woman is like, we're going to make a new law to stop the old laws that people were breaking.
Ability to do the work that they're there to do to stop and disrupt these sideshows, and you will be held to account. We will extend the amount of time the city can hold a vehicle seized in a sideshow. Right now, we have to return a vehicle within 30 days. And now, with our district attorney's support, we are charging the law so that the DA can keep the cars longer. And if there is a conviction the car can be seized permanently. So we are coming after everything that we can, whether it's your car or your dirt bike or what have you. We welcome the opportunity for people to ride the streets of San Francisco safely. But when you start crossing those lines, we will take action and we will be aggressive.
No, you won't. You're not going to be aggressive at all. You're going to pretend that you're sort of aggressive because I guess you think that now trying to clean up certain parts of California is going to look better for Kamalto, which maybe it will, but it also shows that you have let it fester for decades. And this lady, for whatever reason, kind of flies under the radar. She always has these weird Batman villain suits on, blue and purple and all this stuff, and obviously the ethics violations, fines. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But most importantly, her own brother was convicted. Now, don't quote me on this. You could do your Googles, do your DuckDuckGos. And her own brother was convicted of manslaughter because I believe he pled down from murder all the way back in the late 90s. And that's the mayor of San Francisco now telling you that she's going to fix the problem. And from CBS News Bay Area, this is sort of what she's trying to stop. And in her defense, I can't believe I'm defending San Francisco Mayor London Breed, but this story is out of Vallejo. Wild night of fiery sideshows in Vallejo ends in death and injury. And again, in her defense, which pains me to say, but this has been happening probably since the 80s or at least the 90s, so it's not all on them. But of course, these politicians have certainly made it worse.
One person was killed, but at least one other injured at a Vallejo sideshow overnight. Police found...
And look, bro, I'm sorry, I don't want to make this personal, but this kind of looks like a toupee.
The victim just off Highway 37 near Lewis Brown Drive. And Dawn Lynn has the story.
A large sideshow with flames. It seems participants are upping the antics by pouring gasoline in the intersection to start a ring of fire with cars spinning donuts around it. Neighbors say there were dozens of cars and at least 100 spectators. They say it happened at the intersection of Lewis Brown and B.W. Williams Drives on Saturday between 12 and 12:40 a.m.
It did wake us up. I have two babies, so it woke up the youngest one, and they had fireworks going, so that's definitely what woke us up.
Katie and her family live near the intersection. She says sideshows are very common there, and sometimes people involved would fire their guns. So it wasn't a big surprise when Vallejo police say a man was shot and killed.
It's scary. It's terrifying. I love this community. I love Vallejo, but gun violence is an issue in our community.
Vallejo. Yeah. I love this community. I love Vallejo. You know, the cognitive dissonance is just, a issue for me that this is all terrible. My babies are crying. I might die. Somebody got shot out front of my house. There's a sideshow going on at least once a week. But I do love it here. Jeez.
Police say they received a call about the shooting just after 12:40 a.m. Two witnesses say they heard about 20 shots. Officers found a man with at least one gunshot wound. He died at the scene. No motive at this time. Detectives are trying to find out if he was a sideshow participant, spectator, or a passerby.
Both frustration and anger.
Mayor Robert McConnell says they have an interim police chief with roughly 70 officers. They're down by about 60 officers, missing almost half of the police force. With help from allied agencies, he says officers arrested several people connected to the sideshow.
There were a total, I think, of 5 people arrested, one of which was a juvenile. One was taken to jail, the other were cited and released.
The city already installed sideshow deterrent barriers at 20 locations.
Yeah, so the city installed sideshow deterrents. That's okay. They can do it. It's different when we do it. If you try to do it because we failed to listen to your request, then, of course, we are going to take those down, and we might just put you in jail. But we're going to do it. We're going to try to stop. And Vallejo, of course, is a little bit different from Oakland. But this stuff obviously, or Oakland and San Francisco, but it's the Bay Area. This stuff spreads, right? Like as soon as these weird gang of young people or whatever get word, it's obviously going to spread. We've seen it. We've seen the smash and grabs go from Oakland, San Francisco, Berkeley, Walnut Creek. I mean, it happens all over the place, and it just gets worse and worse and worse until, I guess, hopefully, maybe, possibly, there's going to be some police officers that are actually going to take action against these people that our hands are tied in San Francisco. We got to let the prostitutes run amok, and we got to let the illegals run amok, and we got to let the fentanyl, the dope dealers, the dope fiends, we got to let them run amok. But if you get further and further away from San Francisco or Oakland, maybe, possibly, they might face a little bit of consequences, but probably not.
But Caltrans has jurisdiction over this intersection. Mayor McConnell and Councilwoman Christina Arriola would also like to increase punishment for both participants and spectators. Councilwoman Arriola and some residents even protested outside of a CHP office last month to demand help from the state.
Especially the governor who deployed all those units to Oakland. Well, give us a little bit too, We could certainly use the help.
After the sideshow and shooting in Vallejo, many of the participants and spectators took over streets in Crockett, Richmond, and Oakland. Katie says these sideshows aren't just kids having innocent fun. They're dangerous.
I would hate for something to happen to us or one of our neighbors. We don't want a stray bullet coming through the house. It's been a concern.
The mayor says the people arrested are for participating in the sideshow. It doesn't appear anyone has been arrested for the homicide. Vallejo police are asking any...
Yeah, they can't figure that out. We don't know. I mean, the people that got arrested were participating in the sideshow, but we can't find the murder suspect. He's long gone.
Anyone with information to give them a call.
Vallejo police say that this is their 16th homicide so far.
All right. Absolutely crazy. And as we know, it is par for the course now that they can't find the murder suspect, but they will certainly find the Oakland residents who organized to put a stop to the sideshows in their neighborhood, or the Oakland residents that organized to recall Mayor Shang Tao, which I get, it's a little bit different, but not really. Right? I mean, it's all the Bay Area, it's all California, and do you think this is going to be helpful to the small business owners, right? There's a hugely viral clip from Tyler Oliveira where the lady says, well, we're not breaking into mom and pop shops. And then he clips right to a mom and pop shop that had been broken into.
Into Target and stealing clothes, it's not a crime. You're resourceful.
Not a crime?
Hell no. Target enslaved my ancestors a year ago.
Target? You're from Oakland?
Yeah. I'm black, I'm a woman, a worker, and I'm queer. So I've got 4 different oppressional systems already fighting against me.
You were upset a little bit? Help me understand Oakland a little bit more.
The crime is because people are homeless. We are stealing basic necessities.
Sure.
People are bipping into cars because they are on the streets, so I wouldn't necessarily consider it to be crime.
There is a little bit of that. We can't deny that, right?
Personally, I don't look at a crime. If you're going into Target, a multi-billion-dollar company, and stealing clothes, it's not a crime.
That's where we disagree, I think.
I mean, you're white and I'm black. There's a whole nother socio-economical piece that I have never had access to.
Walmart's in Chicago. They're gone. Why are they gone?
Whose fault is that?
People stealing from Walmart.
Why did Walmart come into an urban city already and displace thousands of black people in an area where we needed housing first? Once we have housing, you can sustain yourself from there on in.
Then all we have are corner stores in Oakland when we run out all these large businesses, right?
Our corner stores are mom and pop's owned. They're black and brown owned. We don't steal from our corner stores. That's the crazy part.
Security footage shows a man walking into Ideal Market in Oakland and seconds later ripping out the store's ATM. It happened around 10 p.m. Thursday night while the store was still open with an employee inside.
But that's really not what this is about. This is all about the sideshows. And now suddenly, Mayor London Breed and the rest of the Bay Area and California at large, we're going to clean it up and crack down on all this stuff, even though I thought you liked all of that. So you're going to clean it up now so you're not a complete embarrassment to the California regime on a national scale. But I was under the impression that you guys liked this stuff. You guys liked this stuff so much that when the politicians and the powers that be, the regime, push back on it, now you protest them pushing back on the insanity, right? And that's more about the tent encampments. But as I've said a million times, it is a complete and total mess.